Hello, and welcome to this conference. Thank you for taking your time to see me and hear everything that I have to say on this important topic. The topic for today will be about Latino immigrants seeking a better future. In particular, undocumented students at our schools. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Marlene Casas, and I am currently an educator and graduate student at Angelo State University. I want to start telling you a little bit about myself and where I grew up, and why I decided to target this topic. I am from South Texas, the city called Far Texas. I am a native here. I grew up in a small town where everyone seems to know each other, some way, somehow. This town is located a couple of miles from the Mexican border. I graduated from the University of Texas Pan American, where I received a major in kinesiology and a minor in Spanish. I am currently a teacher through the past 5 years I have taught physical education, special education, and Spanish. I can't seem to figure out what I like the most though. I really just like to think that I impact students' lives regardless of what I teach. I am also the Fellowship of Christian Athletes sponsor, and my goal is to lead these students and athletes into a growing relationship with Jesus Christ and His church. I am also currently seeking a master's degree in professional school counseling. Last but not least, a little fun fact about me. Knowing that we are all from Texas right now, my family and I love football. And of course, our favorite team is the Dallas Cowboys. Today we will be covering the following 5 points. You will be informed on border crisis. You will know the effects of immigration and students' education. You will know the effects of immigration and students' mental and emotional health. And you will also be able to advocate for immigrant children at a school setting. Last, you will be able to recognize any psychological problems in immigrant students. First off, let's start by talking about the causes of this situation. Why is this happening? Why are Latino immigrants seeking a better future here in the United States of America? It seems like this has been increasing throughout the years. Undocumented immigrant children seeking better opportunities and hardships of life that come with it. Immigration has been a major issue in this country for the past several years. And today's government passed stricter laws and policies in combating illegal immigration. A huge number of refugees come from Latin America. They seek asylum in the United States for many reasons. Gang violence, war, corrupt governments, poverty, better job opportunities, and education are just some of the push and pull factors that forces these individuals to make their way to America. In addition, many experience life and death situations as they make their way to the United States. Once here, immigrant students are forced to diffuse in a society with different norms, different culture, and different language. It can't be easy, the transition that many students undergo daily pressures of a hostile environment, whether at home or at school. It is crucial to help struggling refugees and make it easier for them to adjust into American society by accommodating their basic needs, mentoring them for better opportunities, and advocating for better immigration policies. The current immigration policies marginalize adolescents coming from Latin countries and deters them from life and the pursuit of happiness in the United States. These push-pull factors include, but not limited to, war, corruption, gang violence, and education, and poverty, are all reasons to flee and seek asylum. Integration by non-native youth into the American way of life is difficult since large numbers of refugees can't read, write, or speak English. Again, push, pull factors. The war, the corruption, the gang violence, and seeking better education, getting away from the poverty. These people are trying to survive, just like you and I. Better yet, these people are seeking asylum. Culture and language barriers might be some of the challenges that immigrants face. But the biggest threat is unjust laws that target this group. Chen, Burianto, and Wang, 2010. What does this mean? They are threatened by the unjust laws that we have here in the United States. They do not feel safe. They do not feel like they have someone they can confide in. Undocumented students face social injustices and are subject to discrimination, exploitation, and marginalization than their counterparts. Chen et al. 2010. These are the effects that immigrant children go through. Psychological, behavioral changes, emotional changes, and mental issues. Undocumented students, starting with family separation. It is on the rise due to tougher immigration laws that leave adolescents to fend for themselves. This creates a hostile environment in places such as schools and brings discontentment and anguish in students. Other major impacts created by separation from parents are psychological, effects detrimental to immigrant students' health. Students go through behavioral and emotional changes, such as aggressiveness and stress directed towards people when in contact with them. It affects their academics negatively and brings disruption in school and home. Solutions. How and who can help these Latino immigrant students? How and who can help these students? Us, school officials and school counselors. We are the first professionals to come in contact with these students. There must be school officials advocating for undocumented or documented Latino youth. Better immigration reform should enact laws that require schools to serve as safe havens for all children and remove that fear and anxiety that comes from being deported. I have seen it many times. Students feel worthless. Students feel like they will never learn the language. They feel helpless. Like Chen, Budianto, and Wang said, the schools need to set up specialized support groups that will intervene and facilitate for those that are vulnerable to social oppression. There should be social awareness with all faculty members and provide appropriate services aimed towards student success. Psychological and emotional counseling should also be in effect concerning on the trauma immigrant students have endured. Isolation and depression are some common factors that Latino youth suffer but can't seek help in fear of the repercussions. The goal for us is to get students in the right mental state where they can succeed in academics like any other student we have at our campuses, regardless of their immigration status. These students have the right to education. So let's say stand up for immigrants, for that American dream, for mental health awareness, for public schools, and for the educators' obligation to these students. We must stand up for those immigrants and their American dream. The dream to strive for more, the dream to live without the fear of gang violence, the dream of a better education and a better life. We must stand for mental health awareness. If it is happening at our schools, we must seek the right help for these students regardless their immigration status. We are all people under the eyes of God, and we shall love one another. It is their right, based on the plier versus Doe. These children of these refugees have the right to access public education and to attend school without fear of repercussions. But politically speaking, the present government does not acknowledge this, and in some immigration centers, these children are not receiving any education. It is important for our U.S. citizens to understand the social context of undocumented immigrants, and that is a vital component for cultural assimilation and diffusion. We must make a change. We must take the stand because it is important to have a system in place that targets social and cultural factors that negatively impact this group and people in general. We shall find ways to rectify these social injustices. At this time, I would like to thank you for listening in on all the efforts that we need to do to help these immigrant children. I have attached some more reading information on references page. Thank you for your time, and now let's all stand up for these immigrant children. Thanks once again.